First, deep exhalation. Focus on the breath. Do deep inhalation, retain for as much time as possible. Then do deep conscious exhalation. Exhale consciously and relax your physical body and the mind. Quieten the mind. Don't bring all the worries into this process of doing pranayama and dhyanam. So, through this process of focused pranayama and quietening the mind and the physical body, Upanishad mantra says when the mind is quietened, after studying the Vedanta Shastras, getting a concept of Brahman, one should do upasana on that Brahma Tattvam. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. That Chalaniti Shanta Upasita. So, this Brahman, which is all pervading, has to be focused on. One should meditate, do dhyanam on this supreme consciousness principle, which is called Brahman, as the substratum of creation, sustenance, and dissolution. Srishti, Sthiti, Layam. And since, as we keep saying, that it is difficult to comprehend the Brahman, which is permeating the entire universe, Upanishad mantras also point out to that same Brahma Tattvam, the pure consciousness principle, which is present within each individual as your own self, as your conscious entity, because of which all functions are possible, and because of which you are able to cognize everything. So, one who can focus on the underlying principle of cognition constantly study the Vedanta Shastras can realize that supreme Brahma Tattvam as the Atman. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amritam bodham bodham pratibodham. So constantly all the cognition is happening through various means, whether you hear a sound or when you touch and feel something, when you see something, form, color, behind all these things, there is something called as a cognition principle, because of which you are able to recognize. The recognition comes from cognition. See, it's recognition. So fundamentally, cognitive capability should be there. That is possible only by the consciousness principle. Similarly, any taste, any smell, all those things, including the mind that can think, and all the organs of action when they function, you can see the consciousness principle behind all these things. Bodham, bodham, pratibodham. So, viditam matam, one who can go beyond the physical aspect of all these things, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandham, and all the other physical actions, and get to the principle behind all these things. Viditam matam. So, Upanishad says that should be understood as the substratum is the consciousness principle, or the Atma Tattvam, Brahma Tattvam. One who understands Amrutatvam hi vindate. So, a constant focusing on this, one realizes Brahman as one's own self, becomes a Brahmajnani, attains immortality. Atmana vindate viryam. And so, when the person continues to exist after getting Atma Jnanam, person is bestowed with tremendous mental strength, intellectual power, mental strength, right knowledge to face any adversity. It's a viryam, special strength. The most powerful individuals break down when something happens, whereas Atma Jnani will never ever have any worries, will never face any emotional or psychological problems. Viryam. Vidyaya vindate amrutam. And on realization, as Upanishad mantras say, person will have no more rebirth, attains immortality. So while we are doing this dhyanam in a very focused and contained environment, closing your eyes, doing pranayama, and doing dhyanam, how to get to this level when you are practically involved in the world, how to recognize the supreme in all aspects of our life, is the topic of the new chapter we are starting today, chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga. Very important, nice chapter. Let's study that now with grace of Lord Krishna. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha. Nirvighna Kuru Medeva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parambrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Shaje Bhavaroginam. Gurave Sarva Lokanam Dakshinamurte Namaha. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं पादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखर गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्महम्. Om. All of chant Ember loudly. On cameras, who does not camera on. यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति निम्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ श्रीकृष्णाय परमात्मने नमः ॐ श्रीगणेशाय नमः श्रीसरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्रीभगवानुवाच तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहमज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थः ज्ञानदीपेन भास्वता ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितं न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति ज्ञानेन तु तदज्ञानम् येषां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवज्ञानम् प्रकाशयति तत्परम् यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः ॐ शान्तिः 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 अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः ॐ नारायणः परो व्यक्तात् अण्डमं व्यक्तसम्भवम् अण्डस्यान्तस्त्विमे लोकाः सप्तद्वीपा च मेदिनी ॐ Hardam Swagatam, hearty welcome to the next session, the beginning of a new chapter, 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is called Vibhuti Yogaha. We'll chant the first shloka. I'll chant now, then Priya Madam can chant, then we'll start learning this chapter. Very important chapter and gives a wonderful perspective of Ishvara Tattvam. अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया
अथ दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया
Very good. All of us together. Shri Bhagavanuvacha भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. So, with the grace of Bhagavan, we are starting one of the most important, wonderful, glorious chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the 10th chapter. It is also explain the glory of Bhagavan, which is comprehensible. Now understand. We all understand Bhagavan or Ishvara Tattvam is the most glorious principle, yes or no? Nothing can be greater than Bhagavan. Yes or no? Do you agreement? Or you think some God man, bad man will be greater than Bhagavan? Bhagavan is the greatest principle. So this greatness, still no one is answering. Is Bhagavan the most supreme or not? Huh? Yes, at least Sundar W is saying. This forum is for you to interact. That's why this chat box is kept open. No, you are not closing chat box like some other sessions. Some other people who do. Okay. So Bhagavan is the most glorious and greatest principle. This Ishvara Tattvam. And so in the second part of the Bhagavad Gita, there are three parts, right? 1 to 6, 7 to 12, 13 to 18. The second part of 6 chapters, Bhagavan focuses on the greatness of this glorious principle called Ishvara Tattvam. So please understand. So many people misinterpret this as personalizing this as Krishna Paramatma. Everything is connected with Krishna as an individual, Krishna as a what name and form. No, it is the tattvam or the principle. Correct. That's why it's called Tat Pada Artham. Very good. The first 6 chapters is called Tvam Pada Artham, which is your true nature. The second 6 chapters are dedicated to Tat Pada Artham, which is the greatness, understanding of the supreme principle, which is called Ishvara Tattvam. The last 6 chapters, once you understand these 2 sections clearly, the last 6 chapters will enable you understand the oneness of Tat and Tvam. So that's how the Mahavakyam Tattvamasi becomes what? Something that becomes relevant to us, understandable to us. Now, how has Bhagavan explained the Ishvara Tattvam? So you're going to focus as Ishvara Tattvam. Don't personalize to Krishna Paramatma. Clear, no? How has Ishvara Tattvam been explained in the 7th chapter and the 9th chapter? So what is the progression so far? The 7th and 9th chapter, Bhagavan has explained the Ishvara Tattvam is equal to Para Prakriti plus Apara Prakriti. Brahma Tattvam plus Maya. Upadana Karanam plus Nimitta Karanam. Consciousness principle plus material principle. So these 4 now should be very clear in your mind. Nah, my Guruji used to say, Raktagatavaveko should be part and parcel of your system. So let us take 2 of them which you are able to connect with from a verbal standpoint: consciousness principle and matter principle. Clear? That is supreme truth or Ishvara Tattvam. And among these 2, which is comprehensible? The consciousness principle is incomprehensible, not comprehensible. Because once you start this, you'll have to study Upanishads in great detail, focus the mind. Like I said, you should dhyanam and constantly focus beyond the appearance. Only when you go beyond the appearance of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandham and the actions that are happening, you can get a glimpse that there is some principle behind all these things. And that principle is Sat, Chit, Anandam, among which even the Sat, which is existence, difficult to comprehend, Anandam, very difficult unless you are able to establish yourself in supreme bliss. But Chit, the conscious principle, is something that you can slightly focus, or no? Can't you at least, when you do dhyanam, you can focus on something that is called the consciousness principle, because of which we are able to do all the actions and do also we are able to cognize everything. So this among the 2 aspects of Bhagavan, one is the higher nature, another is the lower nature. But both are what? Nature of Bhagavan. Please understand. Higher nature is difficult to comprehend, being pure consciousness. You have to start Ashabdamasparshamarupamhavyayam tharasam nityamagandhavajjayate anadyanantam mahatah parandhruvam Ichayatannuttimukhat pramuchyate. So by the time I end this mantra, people are gone to sleep. Once again, Ashabdam Sparsham. So Bhagavan knows that too much of focus on the consciousness principle will not what? Encourage the Madhyama Adhikari. Please understand, the person has moved from being a what? Manda Adhikari to Madhyama Adhikari. Manda Adhikari starts with all the basic principles, doing chanting, Nama Sankirtana, Bhajana, Parayanam, and all those things. Madhyama Adhikari is trying to understand who is this God. How did God create this universe? How all these things are happening? So when those questions come, one has to have a better understanding. And so Bhagavan says, difficult to comprehend my higher nature. So Bhagavan says, let me explain using the lower nature. What is the lower nature? Quickly, all of you. Matter principle. Very good. Apara prakriti. Very good. Ah, Maya Tattvam. See, Maya Tattvam is a fundamental matter principle. This fundamental matter principle has got many, many varied forms, infinite forms. So, what is the definition of Maya? What definition of Maya? Yama Sa Maya. So, mathematically, Maya has been given a value of 0. Okay. What is Ishvara Tattvam? It is only one. That is Ekamevad Vitiyam. When this one supreme principle divides into what? Manifests as matter, which is 0. What is 1 divided by 0? Simple. What is 1 divided by 0? Infinity. Abba. Basic principle, man, trying to get you all basic entities. So when that one supreme principle, which is what? Incomprehensible, not comprehensible, manifests itself as what? Many seemingly real entities. There's no reality. Then the number can be what? Infinite. That's how this infinite name and form and the worlds and beings and matter is what? Permeated with supreme principle and is there all over the universe. Or no? Is matter just one or two? How many? How many can you think of? Millions and billions. Now you understand the no mathematical formula Mahapira explained in one of the Upanyasam. That one supreme principle divided by Maya, which is 0, is equal to infinity. See, Mahabharata has brought very basic mathematics to explain how the supreme can manifest as many. So now in this multifarious manifestation of supreme principle as matter. So now what is the fundamental understanding? Now it keeps now in the back of the mind throughout this chapter now going forward. Behind all the matter principle, there is Ishvara Tattvam. Yes or no? One supreme consciousness as the existing existence principle, which is difficult to comprehend. Also, the fundamental matter principle is nothing but Bhagavan or Ishvara Tattvam. So we are not able to cognize the divinity in all the entities because of their mundane nature. Yes or no? Suppose I present a table, a chair, or something in front of you. Will you say mobile? Will you say it is Bhagavan? You will not accept, right? So, Bhagavan in this chapter using a wonderful approach of focusing on special entities are having significantly greater power, greater effect, greater impact on the lives of individuals so that you can start focusing on the divine. Are you getting the point? See, if you see, at least in our Indian culture, when you see a book, you're slightly religious, you will recognize Saraswati in it, yes or no? Whether we do puja or not, we will not stamp on it. We will not disrespect it. We will not throw it like no other cultures, yes or no? Definitely, you will not give it in the left hand. When somebody asks, you give it in the right hand or in both hands. Whatever book it can be. Clear? So we see Bhagavan in Pustakam. See, then some people who are trained properly see Bhagavan in the tree also. You also go around a tree in a temple, yes or no? Vriksharaja te namaha. Shloka is there for that. You recognize Bhagavan in sun, moon, stars. That's why in Veda mantras, there are mantras dedicated to the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets. Yes or no? Recognize divinity in all. Why? Because some special power is there in all these things. Food actually is also Bhagavan, Annam Brahma. That is our principle. Correct? Why? What is special power of food? Ability to make you alive, nourish you. Imagine if you don't have food for some time, can you be what? Alive. Water. Water is divine. A person, no, a person almost at the point of no death or what, suffering from dehydration. One drop of water is enough to make the person survive. Yes or no? After that, the person gets up, then a lot of things can happen. So, how water is very important. So, all the Pancha Mahabhutas, what? The space we don't even cognize, air, no fire, water, no food, that is earth. All these are divine. To some extent, if you can start tuning to it, yes or no, mind has to be tuned. You have to every now and then recollect. So now Bhagavan in this chapter is going to point out some of the special manifestation of the glory of Ishvara Tattvam as matter principle. Write down. So from now on, Bhagavan is going to explain about the manifestation of the matter principle in a special form so that you can cognize, appreciate the greatness of Ishvara Tattvam. And later, he will focus on how to pierce through the matter principle and understand the consciousness principle. Are you getting the point? In 10 and 11, Bhagavan is going to focus on the matter aspect. In 12th, he will say how to develop bhakti. And finally, in start of 13th chapter onwards, he's going to say how to pierce through matter, understand the supreme consciousness principle, and then you can attain the Aikya Tattvam. This is the progression of the 10, 11, 12 chapters. Clear? So, what is the fundamental basis for the 10th chapter? Bhagavan is the material cause, Upadana Karanam, Apara Prakriti, fundamental matter, Maya Tattvam. Which is Maya only one or many? Quick answer I want to get. Let me see whether you're focused in the class or not. Maya is one or many? Infinite. Very good. The supreme Brahma Tattvam is one or many? Ekameva Dvitiyam. So write down. So there is only one supreme principle, is Ekameva Dvitiyam, that is conscious principle or Satchidanandam, and there are many matter principles. So since we cannot focus on the billions and billions of matter principles, Bhagavan is going to focus on certain aspects which we can quickly connect and elevate the mind. Point one. Point two. What is the connection between the 9th chapter and the 10th chapter? I keep saying there's a connection between one chapter to another. What is the last sloka of the 9th chapter? Can you all turn to the last sloka of 9th chapter and chant with me? Shri Bhagavan Manmana Bhava Madbhaktaha Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Yuktvaivam Atmanam Matparayanaha. So, what is the focus of the last sloka? Fix the mind on Bhagavan. Be devoted to Bhagavan. Keep Bhagavan as supreme goal. Worship Bhagavan. Surrender to Bhagavan. This constant remembrance of Bhagavan continuously will finally enable you to realize Bhagavan as your true nature, Atmanam. Clear? Is it clear or not? Huh? So now, how to fix the mind on Bhagavan continuously? Very difficult, right? Consciousness, Shabdam, Sparsham, difficult. So Bhagavan is now helping us to focus on the Supreme in various aspects that are going to affect our daily lives. So Bhagavan begins the 10th chapter by saying, did Arjuna ask any question after Manmana Bhava? After the last sloka, Manmana Bhava, Madbhakto Bhava, no question. Huh? So Bhagavan knows there is a doubt in Arjuna's mind, and similar to Arjuna, all of us got doubt how to continuously focus the mind on Bhagavan. So Bhagavan says, I told you, you have to focus on me. Now you listen to me. These are my supreme words, very rare. Because what is something that is mundane, which we think has no value, Bhagavan is saying there's something very relevant, very important behind something that we're experiencing and seeing every day. So, hey Arjuna, now listen to the supreme words of mine. So, Bhagavan himself is explaining. Now, if what? Some half god man, half bad man, that man, this man explains some re-engineer something, then you can ignore. Here, Bhagavan himself is saying, when he's saying himself, then they have to be what? The supreme words, the sovereign words, absolute words. Bhagavan says, you listen to this very carefully. So don't be distracted. When I'm going to explain certain important principles, now from now on, don't get distracted. Focus on this, my supreme words, which I myself am telling you, even without you asking. It's what great people will do. Many times when you go and meet some really great people, they will give you advice sometimes even without you asking for. Have you seen? Because why? They are concerned about your welfare. So Bhagavan says, I am very, very keen that you are in a comfortable situation. I am always wishing for your welfare. So when he's telling Arjuna, what does it mean? When we are studying Bhagavad Gita, he is also wishing our welfare, provided you listen to what he's saying. And this is more easy to understand, more delightful. It is not like what I am that principle which cannot be organized. Ashabdama sparsham. It is not like that. It will not send you to sleep. It will make you very delighted and very happy because you can start. Because once it is available for what? Shabda sparsha rupa rasagandham. Yes or no? As I keep saying, when you go to a theater, what is more interesting, looking at the screen, empty screen, or the picture on top of it? What is more? Why do people go to theater? This is screen, is it? Huh? So, picture. So, Bhagavan is going to say how this aspect of me, which has got the divinity, the greatness of my own nature manifesting through the material principle, especially when you start connecting with it, you will feel very delighted hearing that. So, opening itself, Bhagavan gives the focus of the 10th chapter, which is called what? Vibhuti Yoga. Don't say Vibhuti, like in Tamil. Don't say Vibhuti. Vibhuti. That's why I put a dash on top of you for English people. Can you see in Sanskrit? It is Vibhuti. Very good. Vibhuti Yoga. And many of you may know who are following no sports and games. Number 10 jersey is very famous. Yes or no? Hmm? Have you all seen? Whoever wears number 10 is almost the star player. Like that, Bhagavan has only already introduced number 10 is the greatest number earlier. That only they are all following now. So, chapter 10, which represents glory. Vibhuti means glory. Write down. Vibhuti means glory. And so, practically, one who wears Vibhuti will also be glorious. So, please understand. That is why our tradition says that wear the Vibhuti. If not, like that, at least little bit you wear. So I tell even our friends, even in the US, any part of the world, wear some vibhuti and go when going outside or even at home. Are you getting the point? So vibhuti. So itself That is why when you wear vibhuti, it has got lot of power, Lakshmi protection, positivity, energy, everything is there. So vibhuti. Clear? Now, look at the Padavibhaga Anmaya for shloka number 1. Dashamaha Adhyayaha. Dashamaha means what? 10th Adhyayaha chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. It is not counted. Only Padavibhaga for understanding what is Bhagavan Uvacha. Now count. Bhuyaha. Word is not bhuya. When you break it, bhuyaha eva he mahabaho. Shrunu me paramam vachaha. So, for people who want to be more systematic, put 7, first line. Okay. Yat te aham priyamanaya. So, it's not priyamanaya, it's priyamanaya. Pakshyami hitakamyaya. 13 words. Very good. Huh? Now look at the Anvaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. He Mahabaho. So he wants to encourage Mahabaho Arjuna. You are a very powerful person. He Mahabaho. Bhuyaha eva. So far, very nice. 1, 2, correct? Shrunu. Me paramam vachaha. So almost it is on the same order. Yes or no? Shrunu me paramam vachaha. Hitakamya. Then what? Me paramam vachaha. Yat aham. So even that etteham no is there no? Yat becomes yad. Yad aham. Hitakamya. Where is the kamya? The last word. Vakshyami te. Where did te come from? Yat te. That te comes here. Priyamanaya. Clear? Yad aham hitakamyaya vakshyami te priyamanaya. Can you ask clear? PVA team, can you confirm? So next set of PVA book should come shortly. Okay, now look at the meaning. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So continuing from the last chapter, Bhagavan is beginning a new. This chapter is being begun. Lord said, Bhagavan said, what? Hey Mahabaho, hey Arjuna, person very powerful, very mighty person. Physically you are mighty. So indirectly Bhagavan is saying, physically I will also show how mighty I am. How mighty the supreme principle is present in various forms. That's what we start in chanting. What? Purusha Suktam, what do you say? Sahasra Shirusha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Britva Atyatishtaddashangulam. Clear? What? In Sahasra Shirusha Purusha is there, Ram Subbu? That is what? Matter aspect. Purushaye Vedagum Sarvam is what? Consciousness principle. Idam Sarvam Purushaye. So in Purusha Suktam itself, Vedanta is there, provided you know the meaning. So anyway, beginning with matter principle is how it begins. So here Bhagavan is saying, hey Mahabaho, you are mighty and powerful, indirectly indicating that I'm going to indicate those mighty aspects of my manifestation. Bhuyaha eva. Bhuyaha means what? Bhuyaha. Bhuyo, bhuyo, namamyaham. Somebody is there, no? Who is? Can you please put on mute? Very good. Apadam hartaram dhataram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam shriramam bhuyo bhuya. Bhuyaha bhuyaha. When you put bhuyo, when you break it, its word is bhuyaha. Clear? Bhuyaha means again. Once again. So all of you, many of you go to this. I don't know whether you all go. Some people go to some kind of concert. Can be a classical concert or non-classical concert. Something they like, they say once again. Yes or no? My Guruji used to say this. Okay, once again. So, Bhagavan is saying, even before you all ask once again, he himself says, once again, Shrunu. Shrunu means listen. May you listen to what? May paramam vachaha. May my paramam supreme vachaha words. So listen to my supreme words. May you listen to my supreme words. It means what? Pay a lot of attention. These are all very important things I'm saying. Don't just ignore them. Don't pay what? Little bit interest or what and ignore it. Focus fully. Me vachaha. Me paramam vachaha. My supreme words. Why should I say this again to you? Yad aham. This supreme words, which Yadu means which, Aham, I myself, Hitakamyaya, wishing your welfare, because I am concerned about your welfare, though I told many things earlier about what my higher nature, lower nature, parab, kita parab, all those things difficult to comprehend, but this is more comprehensible. I want you to connect quickly and start getting to recognize supreme in various aspects. I wish that you understand this concept, which will give you a lot of welfare and progress. So I wish for your welfare, because of which Vakshyamite, I shall explain to you. I shall explain to you. Priyamanaya. Listening to this, you are already got some interest. So you will be more delighted and you will be able to focus and easily understand and comprehend this supreme principle. So, Arjuna, with all the background you have got right now about the supreme principle, now let's focus on the thing that is more comprehensible. And what is that? So, that aspect of Bhagavan, which is difficult for people to comprehend, I'm going to explain in a very, very easy way. And so, what is a special knowledge? What is the speciality about this knowledge? Shloka number 2. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Name Vidussuraganaha Prabhavam Namaharshayaha Ahamadirhi Devanam Maharshinam Cha Sarvashaha.
न मे विदुः सुरगणाः प्रभवं न महर्षयः अहमादिर्हि देवानां महर्षीणां च सर्वशः.
Very good. All of us together. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Name Vidussuraganaha Prabhavam Namaharshayah Ahamadirhi Devanam Maharshinam Cha Sarvashaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now, if you have to explain about something or somebody in detail, you should know everything about that entity. Yes or no? That means what? Either you have to be the creator of that substance or entity, or you should have studied all aspects concerned and digested about that principle. Yes or no? Now, this is about Bhagavan and Ishvara Tattvam. So, is Ishvara Tattvam comprehensible, comprehensible? As I told you, it is incomprehensible. You cannot comprehend for various reasons. First is, if as human beings we are not able to explain something, we look at more intelligent or knowledgeable people. Yes or no? Generally, we are not able to solve some puzzle or some problem. We have to go to somebody knowledgeable. As human beings, if they are not able to solve, to whom we should go? To some Mahan, like rishis, sages, great saints, or their words. We have to go and interpret. And what sages are not there now? Their words are there in Vedas. You go and see whether you can get the answers there. Yes or no? Or sometimes what? In the previous yugas, like in Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga also, and also in Satya Yuga, gods and human beings are having communication, just like no, you and me. So humans go to Swargalokam. Gods also come down to earth. Have you all heard stories or not? Arjuna went to Swargaloka to fight for Indra. Similarly, in Mahabharata, Dwapara Yuga, Surya came down. Correct? Did he come down or not? Indra came down. All the gods also came down. They are having samparkam, we say. Today, we are not able to meet gods in, the, in our life because not enough punyam is there. So you have to ask God. If you got any, what I'm saying is, you'll ask superior entity to know about something that is not comprehensible. So Bhagavan is saying, you know what? You can go to all the sages, you can go to all the gods. None of them can explain about me. As I told you, when can you explain about something? When you are the originator. Are you getting the point? So, if I am going to create something, I can more or less try and explain something about it. But can I explain something about my originator and something no further that originator of that? So, in Sanskrit, write down something called as Karanam and Karyam. Cause and effect. Effect comes out of a cause. I should principle. Now, hard right? Some intellect because 10th chapter is also going to give you some work to the brain. So, effect comes out of a cause. Cause permeates the effect. Effect has got some aspects of the cause, but the effect can never explain about the complete cause. Four principles. Can you all write down? Huh? So, the entire manifestation, both matter, living matter, non-living matter, is a manifestation of the Supreme. So, which had to exist before, which will come later? The entire creation of living and non-living matter is effect or cause. Now we have to get into the subject. Unless you understand this, you cannot go forward. Huh? Effect or cause? Entire universe of living and non-living matter. I'm calling living and non-living matter because everything is matter principle. Seemingly, this matter has got some life. That is why it's called living matter. Okay. So, non-living matter is what? That which is immobile, insentient. Clear? Sentient and insentient. Living principle, living matter, non-living matter. They are all what? Effect or cause? They are all effect. And what is the supreme cause? Brahman alone is the supreme cause of the entire universe. So there are many mantras to support this from the Upanishads. Before that, let's start with the first sutra of the Brahma Sutra and the second sutra. The first sutra of Brahma Sutra says Athato Brahma Jignasa. What second sutra says? Janmadyasya yataha. That principle from which everything is created, sustained, and dissolved. Yatoba imani bhuta nijayante. Ye najata nijivanti. Yatrayanti abhisammishanti. So everything that is born means what? Including sages, including gods, including every entity is manifesting as an effect from the supreme cause. Write down. That is called the causeless cause. Who is the cause of supreme? There is no cause. So it's called causeless cause. Supreme, the originator, the one that has what? Cannot say there was a time when supreme was originating. So ever existing principle. So nobody can trace Bhagavan's origin. Can you know find out what is the origin of Bhagavan or supreme principle? That's why it's called Anadi. Anadi Anantam. So there's no beginning. So nobody can find out what is the origin of Bhagavan because it's ever existing. Everything, including the sages, the gods, manifested later, so they cannot understand the supreme principle or even the origin of the supreme principle, because Bhagavan himself or supreme here, Ishvara Tattvam is the originator of everything, whether what living matter or non-living matter. The origination happens from the supreme principle. So Bhagavan specially says, if you all thought some sages or some gods or somebody else can explain about me, forget it. Even they have originated from me only. And so by the principle, what is the principle? The effect can never ever represent or have the complete aspects of the cause. The effect can never define the cause. The effects being what? Here, the gods, the sages, or any knowledgeable person can never define Bhagavan, can never explain about Bhagavan, cannot talk about the origin of Bhagavan. Clear? Slightly complex, huh? To understand this, huh? So once you understand cause effect, no, theory, or you can easily comprehend this. So Bhagavan says, nobody can explain about me, which means what? Who can explain about Bhagavan? This answer should come. If nobody can explain about the Supreme, nobody, then who can explain? Bhagavan himself. Now answer is there. Only Bhagavan can say about himself. Never there. Just because nobody can say, we cannot say that, unexplainable. Yatovacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Yes, it is true that when Bhagavan himself comes down out of his grace as a human form, is coming and explaining his divine manifestation, divine nature for us to comprehend in whatever way we can. So Bhagavan says, nobody can explain to me. Yes, they may be able to explain some aspects. It's not that what? They cannot say. You ask rishis, they through the Veda mantras, they will explain how great Bhagavan is. So many aspects are there. He's all powerful, Sarvagyaha, Sarvashaktihi, Jagad Utpatti Sthilekaran, all that you can say, but that will not be comprehensive enough. Are you getting my point? So Bhagavan told, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yasyasti tattaha. Really, what am I totally? You have to understand it's not possible. Nobody can explain Bhagavan in totality, in all aspects. So listen to me. So pay attention when I am saying. Is not something that everybody can say at all points in time. Understood? Bhagavan is now doing all build up so that you focus on these supreme words. Let's see whether there is a meaning that comes out of the Padavi Bhaga. When you understand the PVA, you will understand the meaning exactly in more detail. So Bhagavan is saying, Na me viduhu suragana ha prabhavam na maharshayaha. Clear? Aham adihi hi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. Very good. Huh? 14. Now look at the Anvaya. Here you do some jugglery. It's not as straightforward as the previous sloka. So in second sloka comes, Bhagavan wants to put some complexity. Na, Sundarama. Na suraganaha na maharshayaha viduhu me prabhavam. When you organize, it becomes very easy. See, instead of saying suraganaha na viduhu, maharshayaha na viduhu, the poetical way is saying na suraganaha na maharshayaha viduhu me prabhavam. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay. So saying neither gods nor sages know me. Another way to say is that the gods cannot know me. Rishis. So now the poetical way. So you should understand. Na suraganaha na maharshayaha viduhu me prabhavam. When you read the word viduhu means know, doesn't mean that they know. What is the prefix? Na viduhu. Are you getting the point? The nakaram should be conscious of that. So, na suraganaha, na maharshayaha, viduhu me prabhavam. First group. Second group is he. Aham adihi devanam cha maharshinam sarvashaha. Clear? The Anvaya clear? PBA team, can you confirm? Yes, okay, Indumati. So very good. Now look at the meaning. Na suraganaha. Suraganaha means gods. Ganaha means just beings. Nah, that's why Ganana antva Ganapati Havamehe Kavin Kavinam. So Ganapati. Why? Lord of all beings, elementary beings. Ganaha. Suraganaha means what? Those Ganaha are beings who have taken Surapanam. What is Suram means what? Nectar. Write down. I forgotten. Amritam. Appa. That's why Suraganaha means no gods. Suraha, Suraganaha, all means the gods. So what is the opposite? Asuraha means what? Suraha, Bhuvachana. Asuraha means what? Those are not taken the divine nectar. You understand now that Samudra all that story is going to come. You understand? You remember that story? And then what happened? Both of them fought for the same thing, but only one set of people got it. Another people were deprived. No, this is how Bhagavan does sometimes. Okay. So Suraganaha means what? Be very clear. Suragana is gods. So na Suraganaha, neither the gods, na Maharshayaha, Maharshayaha, nor the sages. So here Mahaha plus Rishayaha, Maharshayaha, great sages. Rishihi means sage. Maharshi means great sage. Rishi, na, Raja Rishi, Deva Rishi, Maharshi, Brahma Rishi. Now you see the word Rishi, we take so many variations that go back and go and listen to the recording, write down all these things. Maharshayaha, great sages. That means what? Even the sages can be great. No, even those people, neither those great sages nor the gods, viduhu, no me prabhavam, my origin. Forget about what? Me as a supreme entity. What about my origin? No way. There is no way anybody. Example is given. Gods and great sages. Nobody can know my origin. Why? The effect can never define the cause. Bhagavan says he. Second part, he, because aham adihi devanam cha maharshinam, because I am the originator of these devas and these rishis. If at all you thought devas are very powerful, let me pray to the devas. Already Bhagavan told in the previous chapters, who worship all the lower devas, they should know they are worshipping me only indirectly because their power comes from me. How does Bhagavan's power only come into them? Because the devas are coming from Bhagavan. Please understand. Bhagavan is the originator. Supreme principle is the originator of even the devas, the gods, and also all the great sages. Are you getting the point? And what? Sarvashaha, in all aspects. It's not only some small aspect, no? Some portion. What you do when people do a product, each one does one small things. Finally, product comes. Nobody can say I am the complete creator of this product. Yes or no? In NRS, correct? They can only partially own up to some aspect of the effect or the product. Here, Bhagavan is saying in all aspects of the product or the effect. Here, example is Devas and Rishis, gods and Maharishis, gods and great sages. In all aspects, I am their creator, originator. Got the point? So, Bhagavan is saying, no, is giving a reason why nobody can explain about me. So why Bhagavan told nobody can explain about me, neither the gods nor sages, first line. Second line is justification for that statement. Why? Because everything is an effect. Bhagavan is the causeless cause. Effect can never define the cause. So Bhagavan is nobody can explain. If nobody can explain, what is the only solution? To whom should you go? For explanation, if you want to know about Bhagavan, where should you go? You should go to Bhagavan only. So Bhagavan is going to say, how I am going to explain this to you in a way which you can comprehend and connect. Because of which, what happens? You satisfy the condition. What is the condition? Last sloka of chapter 9. Manmana bhava, madbhakto bhava, madhyaji bhava, mam namaskuru. Once you tune into this thought process and way of life, life becomes very, very easy. Life today, what is happening? Very difficult. Lot of pressure, right? Lot of pressure, tension. So what Bhagavan is saying? Bhoj mere ko de do. I will take care of everything. You put Bhagavan in the head. What Rutvich? The problem in the head will vanish. Problem is we don't want to put Bhagavan in the head. We want to put all the worldly problems in the head and start owning up to it and then succumb to all the pressure. From today, what you should do? ಏನು ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ಅವರೇ ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಲೆ ಮೇಲಿಂದ ತಲೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ automatically everything will become very, very light. So either get the light of knowledge. You get light of knowledge, the entire thing is light, correct? Light, two meanings in English. English parango. Light naka, light also not heavy. Similarly, have Bhagavan's thought in mind because Bhagavan is everything. Nothing will be a problem for you. Wonderful introduction. So all of you download the 10th chapter ebook. Our team has done a wonderful job. They are able to produce all the books on time, just in time concept. They all got the Japanese technology they've got. JIT. They've done it. So download, be ready for a Saturday morning class. We'll start reviewing systematically, understand the 10th chapter correctly. Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Tatsate Krishna 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 Shubhamastu Samasta Sanmangalani Bhutya Hari Om Narayana.